Last Thursday, the ordinance on study financing was unanimously approved by the House of Parliament. This was a historic moment for this ministry. In the first place, it is the first ordinance submitted to Parliament by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, which has now been approved. In the second place, this ordinance has been a work in progress since 1995. One may wonder, why did it take 23 years to get a law passed? Allow me to share with you a brief historical journey of the Study Financing Ordinance. Much of the information comes from Mr. Antonio Aventurin, head of the Division Study Financing. But the synopsis shows how long it takes and the tedious process involved in getting a law from a draft to being passed in Parliament. Let's start. 1995, the draft island regulation on study financing was approved by the then Island Council of St. Martin. 1996, Prime Minister and Governor of the Netherlands Antilles refused to approve and sign the island regulation on study financing because St. Martin had no authority to contract loans based on the island regulation of the Netherlands Antilles. At that time, only Curaçao could contract loans as part of the Netherlands Antilles. The contention was, if St. Martin cannot contract any loans, it also cannot issue loans. Because in truth and in fact, study financing is partially a loan system. For the next 14 years, there was no progress. In 2009-2010, the first version of the Study Financing Ordinance was drafted, but unfortunately, it didn't get included in the package of legislation moving from the island territory to country, St. Martin. As per 10-10-10, a national ordinance dating from the 1960s entitled Landsstudie Toelage Regeling became the applicable policy on study financing. In 2011-2012, a second version was drafted because the first draft had to be rewritten in accordance with the new format for laws, as established by the legal department of St. Martin. This version didn't pass the legislative screening process. In 2014-2015, there was a version 3. A consultant was hired to rewrite the law in accordance with the comments from the legal department. Unfortunately, version 3 failed the legislative screening process as well. 2015, version 4. Another consultant was hired to make the final changes as requested by the legal department. 2015-2016, version 5. Yet another consultant was hired to complete the process. Again, the legal department rejected the ordinance because the law was deemed discriminatory, because not all citizens were eligible for study financing. The law was based on the study financing legislation in the Netherlands, where everyone is eligible for funding once you attend school. 2016-2017, version 6. It was decided that the law had to be completely rewritten and reworded from scratch. In the end, this version was also rejected by the legal department. The study financing ordinance failed the legislative screening process for the 7th time. Finally, in 2018, the draft legislation was approved by the Council of Ministers, and subsequently it was sent to the governor, who then submitted it to Parliament for approval. It has been indeed a lengthy process. This legislation has passed through many hands, offices, and departments. I would like to thank all the members of the staff of the Department of Education, the Division Study Financing, as well as past commissioners of education and my predecessors for persevering and staying with the task until we are all able to accomplish it together. We have overcome together. Also, last Thursday, the proposed members for the board of the Monument Council were approved by Parliament. Now, after Parliament's approval, the appointments still have to pass through the governor before the minister can sign off. The task of the Monument Council is to provide advice on monuments, advice on monument requests, policy and on policy matters, and advice on criteria for the designation of monuments. The Council reviews and advises on appeals by owners of monuments. In addition, the Council advises on requests for repairs, restorations, and/or demolitions of monuments. Let me give you a concrete example as to how the Council works. If, for example, a building has been listed by government as a monument, then before repairs or modifications can be done to that building, the Monument Council must be consulted. In other words, also before VROMI can issue a building permit to have repairs done to a monument, VROMI must seek advice from the Monument Council. The board of the Monument Council is officially appointed for 4 years. The tenure of the last board ran from May 2013 until May 2017, which means that for approximately a year and a half, St. Martin has been without a monument council. Hopefully, we can have that monument council in place within short. Lastly, on the rights of the child. The countries in the Dutch kingdom, namely the Netherlands, Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin, as well as the Dutch public entities Bonaire, Sint Eustatius, and Saba, have been working together on promoting the rights of the child within the kingdom. At the International Education Conference held in May 2018, the political authorities for youth and family of the 4 countries and of the 3 entities of the Caribbean in the Netherlands signed a declaration of intent to step up cooperation to improve the rights of children in the kingdom. All of the parties have agreed to formalize the cooperation in a memorandum of understanding. As you know, the rights of the child were adopted by the United Nations in their 1989 Convention on the Rights of the Child. Rights are things that every child should have or should be entitled to.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Management is compiled as follows. We have an interim director. That am I. Officially, I retired in December 2014. The foundation had some problems with my follow-up, so I am now interim approximately a year, reorganizing and trying to find a new director for the foundation. We have 2 psychiatrists in the management team. We have HR, an HR manager, and we have a financial manager. The staff is divided in teams in accordance with the care products that we have. We have psychologists, nurses, mentors, and support staff. Support staff is, of course, finance, facilities, kitchen, cleaning, etc. Today, the foundation has approximately 40 staff members. We have 10 call-up nurses. This is also an interesting phenomenon. When we started with admission, we could not get enough qualified nurses. To have an admission facility for mental health care, you need at least a registered nurse and a licensed practical nurse. So we utilize call-up nurses. Those are nurses working for the ambulance, Whitechapel Cross Medical Center, that in their spare time help us out when we do not have enough staff on the team, which we do not have. We have 4 volunteers, and we have contracts ongoing. Those contracts are for IT, security, etc., other items. Quality care and patients' rights. The Mental Health Foundation has to abide by specific rules. There is een landsverordening zorginstelling. You have the CASET-wetgeving that regulates involuntary care. Involuntary care pertains to persons who are at that time a danger to themselves and the environment. And we also fall under the AVBZ law. The AVBZ law, I will further down explain more about. It is important to realize what mental health legally can do and cannot do. We often get calls to, there's a patient on the road, can you pick him up? We cannot pick up a patient against his will on the road by law. We can only pick up the patient if he voluntarily wants to be admitted. We can try. We do go on the road and try. But if that person is not posing a danger to the community or society, we cannot. The person can be a nuisance, but there is no reason to pick up that patient. We cannot. And we strictly adhere to that rule of law. The foundation has several committees. We have an incidents and a complaints committee. The complaints forms and the incidents forms are on the website. They are visible throughout the foundation for anyone to pick up and fill in. The committee meets 3 times a year, unless there are urgent issues and we need to meet more often. We have a staff satisfaction survey that is run by HR, and that staff really appreciates. When it started, they were sort of like, what are you doing? But now they really have a voice in how we are managing the foundation, what they are doing. Are we satisfied with what they're doing? And are they satisfied with the support they are getting from management? All those items are then, after the survey, discussed with them. We have a patient satisfaction survey ongoing, presently only in an admission ward. It is the intention to spread it throughout the foundation. According to the LVO zorginstelling, we have to abide by protocols and procedures. That's a huge amount of protocols and procedures. Each department has their own medical procedures, but there are also protocols and procedures relating to patient approach, relating to administrative issues, There are a couple of hundred of procedures that we are now trying to compile in a manual, in one total manual. The foundation also has, under those protocols and procedures, rules and regulations. Since we do not have a union, we do have rules and regulations for those employed to abide by. And then we have a patient's council. In the work we do, the patient's voice in their needs is extremely important to us. What I have to say with regards to the Patient's Council, it is very difficult to keep it going because most of the time family members and patients either are working or are in care. Parents that would like to participate, we do these sessions in the evening, are overburdened, taking care of their relative and surviving in society. But the council does exist, and we are really trying to revamp it at this point in time, certainly after Irma. Our budget. I hope it is clear. I think this is, I did not go further back. This is from 2015 till present. I think it would be interesting for Parliament to see that in 2016, we had a serious budget increase. But what you see here, by general expenses, 2018 in this chart is not finalized. All other figures have been finalized by the accountant. These are the approved figures, are the actual figures for those years. 2018 is not accountant approved, is not our final data. But if you see in 2018, the estimated figures till date, you'll see a serious increase. I can't see it, but it really didn't come out so good. It's on 600 and something thousand. Why is it so high at this moment? Because you'll see 2017 is way lower.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you for?
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4.
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
We've heard of Grenada taking steps.
I know.
Lucia, Jamaica even.
Saw it.
The Sundance, the different hotels
Yes.
represented by Sundance are basically saying, look, this is the way to go, and as of next year, we are going to ban all plastic straws in particular. You have also suggested that we go this route as well. This is yet to be discussed or debated on the floor of Parliament.
Yeah.
How soon do we foresee a discussion?
You know, Stephen, that is such a good question, and I'll tell you why. Of course, the topic is very important, and I have been working for quite a while on drafting a law to ban. And when I started out, I actually focused on banning single-use plastic bags. That's where I started out. I had many discussions with the Nature Foundation on it. That helps me with information. I also had discussions with the relevant persons on Aruba. And so I finalized that initiative draft law. However, like is required for all laws, it has to go to the Council of Advice. So my initiative has gone to the Council of Advice. They need to look at it and comment on it. And I need to then respond to their comments, whatever the comments may be. From their perspective, they will look at it and then give their reaction. And then I need to react to their reaction. That is a procedure for every law. Every law, whether the law comes from government has to do the same thing to Council of Advice, and then government needs to react to the comments by the Council of Advice. So that's where my draft regarding single-use plastic bags is at right now. However, in the meantime, this matter has picked up a lot of attention, a lot of action throughout the Caribbean, throughout the world. I mean, if you see some of the numbers, and I have included the numbers as information with my draft law, but if you see some of the numbers in terms of the use of plastic, it is staggering. The numbers are staggering. So there's a lot of development, and I am going to expand the scope of my initiative draft law to include other harmful materials. But once I get this through, adding to it is just a matter of an amendment to the law. But I thought, let me get this one in, because I was working on a draft, amending it, changing, adding, and then I say, no, here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to give a whole explanation, which I've done, and get this one in procedure. And then, once I get it back from the Council of Advice, I think that I can amend it and expand what it is that we want to ban. In the draft that I have made, and which has now gone to the Council of Advice, I have put the date that it can go into effect in the hands of the government. Why did I do that? So you're going to have a law, a ban on single-use plastic bags. But with the government being able then by another decree of government saying it will go into effect, for example, the 1st of January 2019, which I hope, then at least government can get with stakeholders, can put a program together for the awareness in terms of plastic and garbage in general in our country. So that's what I envision with the draft. But again, I started with single-use plastic bags, banning the use of those bags. And then I hope to, in the course of the process on the law, to add to that. For example, styrofoam, you know. But once you do that, you also need to be very particular. You have to define what it is. I had to find the definition for single-use plastic bags. But again, it is not about the prohibition. It's not about the ban in itself. It is, in my opinion, more of making people aware of the harmful effects so that they would embrace a ban on single-use plastic bags and other harmful material. Because St. Martin is like right up there in terms of usage, of course, based on if you look at the size of our country and you compare the usage, they match the numbers of much larger countries. And if you see the effects on our environment, I mean, I don't have to repeat the many stories and documentaries that have been written. It is just a serious issue.